And welcome to Soul Fusion Cafe. It is a blessing and an honor to be here with you today. I am Jess Juntunen, and we have an hour coming up of radiant wellness and soul forward living here on Soul Fusion Cafe with me, Jess. And it is wonderful to be with you again on another Tuesday. We are here live every Tuesday at noon Eastern Time. So if you're on the East Coast and you want to grab lunch with us, that's awesome. Or wherever you are, thank you for being here and tuning in, whether it's live or in the rebroadcast. And, it's a beautiful moment to be here connecting. This is a community, a place of support. So feel free to use the chat and feel free to go ahead and call in if you have a sharing about what's happening in your world. It's super amazing. Love to hear about miracles and magic and co-creation that's going on, as well as if you have a question about anything that's being shared or you'd like to request a mini reading. And let's see, this is nifty. We have the call-in number. If you're watching the screen, 517-208-1500. Again, that call-in number, 517-208-1500. Awesome. And, while you're in the hold, you get to hang out and listen to the show, but that's only if I enable the call board. So I'm going to go in there and open that now. And today is an awesome day because I love this topic. This is abundant you. Like how many times do we come up against this one, right? In our world, we see where our limitations are when it comes to our abundance. And oftentimes we just really need to have that remembrance, that remembrance that, oh yeah, I remember I'm an abundant being. I'm a creator in
confirmed
form.
the start
And
of the
when
conference.
we are here
The conference will
together
begin when the
in our
next party
group
joins.
setting, we can remind each other of that, right? That's what the beauty is of the radio and workshops or classes or gatherings are. When we come together with other beings, right, we are able to be reminded of our true nature and our radiant presence. So that call board is now back open, 517-208-1500. Love taking your live calls. If you have a sharing, a question, want to request a mini reading, that is my honor and privilege to do. So yeah, call on in. And yeah, while we're here, just taking this moment to really honor and connect with yourself for taking this time to spend here. And hi, hello, I'm seeing people all over across the different places we are streaming. We are streaming over at Facebook, Oneness Talk Radio. We are streaming at YouTube, Oneness Talk Radio, and of course at onenesstalkradio.com. And really exciting things happening too. Speaking of abundance, Oneness Talk Radio is continuing to expand its reach, and check out other shows there. If you have not, what a place to go and receive positive support and upliftment 24/7. There's amazing shows and hosts and music. And really what we do need more of is places to connect to the upliftment, right? We have plenty of places to go and connect to the distractions and the things that make us fearful or give away our power, right? We do it all the time, so easily in this world. It's everywhere. So Oneness Talk Radio is that portal of positivity. So yes, come and hang out here. So yeah, and today, just feeling into the amazingness that we're sitting at. We are in May, so if you're catching this week or in real time, right, we're in the middle of May. We're getting past the middle of May, and we are moving towards that full moon, and we are moving towards that eclipse, and eclipse season is here, and retrograde, Mercury, right? It's amazing. And it also can feel a little like, whoa, right? It can feel a little intense sometimes. So really honoring that there's more going on than meets the eye. So I love often to start the shows with talking a little bit about the energy and reminding, because that's our context, right? We can forget that there is a bigger picture operating when we go into our autopilot and we're going about our days and we forget. And, it's like, just like anything else that we have to bring our commitment to, right? And our focus. So that's the energy right now. It's like, where are you committed and what are you focusing on? Because then, right, comes the trust. That's the framework of support, is to really be in that steadfast commitment, focused awareness, complete trust. And this energy right now is just begging us to make those choices. May's a choice month, and Master Lady Kira Ra and Sri Ramka, my own mentors and teachers, who I know many of you tuning in listen to. And if not, go check them out because their work is so accurate and stunning and on point all the time. And when they share about the energies and the overlays that are happening, it's like it lines up. And if you go back and look at old stuff and see what was happening, it's amazing. And it's this energy and messaging coming from ascended realms that they're sharing with us. So May, choice month, choice, choice. You have a choice at all times. You have the ability to say yes, and you are always saying yes to something. Even when we're saying no to something else, it's a yes to something else. So it's choice. Like, where are you committed? And this is cooking this week. I mean, this is so big. It's saying, what do you really want and where do you want to live from and source from, right? Where do you want to put your energy? Where do you want to experience your life from? Is it from the contracted, um, fearful place of not enough and lack and scarcity and victim consciousness? Or is it, I want to um, be that abundant, free, just out there, joyful, loving peace? Or what does that, perfect day look like for you? If you had everything taken care of and everything going your way, what does your life look like? Is that where you want to live from and create from? And it really is about making that choice. Say, how am I creating my energy today? How am I greeting the world? How am I dancing with my own self and others, right? And the bigger picture perspective is like, there's so much more going on than whatever's happening in our just day-to-day moment and motion, right? It's so big that there's there's just possibility everywhere. But if we are in the contraction, if we are not in our abundant flow, right, then how are we going to receive? How are we going to receive? So I'm popping over here and just saying hello. Oh my gosh, so many people in the chat. It's beautiful and amazing. Hi, Ashtara and Kim and Pauline. Mona, Lynn, Gary, hey, and B, hi, awesome, so awesome. Oh, both Beatrice, awesome, and Mona, hey, how do we bring this remembrance in our daily chores? I love that question, Mona, because right, chop wood, carry water. Shri likes that expression, but we are here as these spiritual beings, but right, we have the chores to do. We have to do the dishes, pay the bills, drive around, be at work. Many of you are working right now and driving about and tuning in, right? How do we bring the remembrance of our abundant true nature and our divinity into everything, into those chores? And that's my favorite place to work at, actually. That's why I love this question. I mean, believe it or not, well, it might not be hard to believe if you know me, but I'm not a big chores person. I've always seen value in almost everything else besides doing chores, and will avoid, even still, if I let myself just go into an old autopilot or fall into an old pattern, it's just like, I don't want to do that stuff. And it's also very true for spiritual beings on this path, that there is that desire often, if you're going through your awakening process now and you're coming online, or you've been awakening for a long time or reawakening, whatever, right? And remembering yourself, it's like sometimes we want to just play in those ethers and the multidimensional realms and spaces, right? We really want to just have the fun multidimensional playtime and be in our higher consciousness. And but why do I have to do the laundry? you know or how do I find the answer to this density based question, or have a phone conversation that doesn't feel exactly joyful? How do we find our joy in all of those things? And that's a part that we all have to reconcile, because we came here to experience having a human body and form, and be on this beautiful planet and be here at this time. And that means that there's things we need to do. We have to feed our body and take care of the body so we can keep existing. And there are also all these other things that come with living at this particular time and insertion point where we are, and so we have to do a lot of different things and chores. So this has been one of my favorite places to actually practice connecting with my divine self, my true nature, is to call it forward through doing those chores and through doing those everyday tasks, the chop wood, carry water. Like, how present can you be that you are the divine creator that is doing this process? Oh, this is interesting. And how do I say thank you for this opportunity? And thank you that I, have the money to pay the rent, or thank you that the money's not there. Can we even get there? Right? Thank you that I have exactly what I have right now. And I know I'm the creator and I can create more. And I worked with a particular chore, which is the dishes, and I still work with this one. And I think it's a great portal to our spiritual nature, is to really pick a chore that you don't particularly enjoy, and or a task, right? And the dishes is one that we always have to do, right? It doesn't ever end. You're not really ever complete. You feel like you're complete, but there'll be more. So it really is all about be like shifting that mindset and getting into alignment and saying, okay, how are my hands? Right? Our hands are these creator tools that we have, and we have powerful chakras in the centers and in our fingers too, and everywhere, all over our body, right? We have our main chakras, we have other energy centers, and there are major ones flowing through our hands. Hence the ability, to do so much healing through our hands. And you've got all these wands, you've got 10 on your finger, on your hands, and that is the creation and flow. That is you bringing into form and reality and creating. So when we're washing the dishes, can it turn into, can we shift? Can we look at where the thoughts are and the beliefs are? For me, it was, these are never ending. I don't feel like doing it. This is uncomfortable. I don't want to. Resistance, whatever came up. But there was also like, look deep, if there's things that just don't feel joyful, it's like, what limiting belief or constriction could be happening inside there for me? Is there a fear playing out? Is there a worthiness issue playing out? Am I worthy? Right? So it can be a rich place to explore your own patterns and thoughts and beliefs, and a way to really develop that channel. Because right, we focus and we meditate and we practice and we do all the practices and things, but if they happen in isolation of our regular living and day-to-day life, then we are no longer in the flow, right? And we just have our flow over here when we're connecting, and then we're disconnected. And that is the challenge, is to how can we bring the joy and how can we bring the connection into all those tasks? And it really ties into our abundant nature and our ability to flow with the abundance that we are, right? And I think I'm seeing so many beautiful comments. You're all so beautiful. And yeah, thanks for the reminder. A few of you talking about the the year, I don't even remember, 2021, the choice year. I should know this off the top of my head. Oh, can you tell us about the painting with the infinities? Yes, this guy, isn't that amazing? I absolutely love this painting. And I will plug Farron Peterson all the way, Studio Farron. I think you can find her under, or look up Farron Peterson. She has art classes and things too. She's amazing, and she is part of our community. And I commissioned a personal piece. So this is a channeled piece that she created for me, and I love it. You know, I sent in an intention, whatever, and I love it. So it has definitely been a focal point in my videos for a while, and it's got all these beautiful elements and just really a beautiful energy. So thank you for asking. And yes, I think you're also beautiful to you, and love you all. Yeah, our abundant nature. You know, I love this conversation because I'm coming back into, right, we go through so many layers of this where we are diving in into ourselves and exploring and expanding. And then we might come up against a moment where we go, where to go, where to go, where to go. Oh no, where's it gone? I lost it. I don't remember. I'm in contraction again, or fear again, or I'm not attracting what I want to attract in my life. And we realize we have more to do, right? And that's the gift, is that there's always there's always more places to uncover and grow through and heal through. It is the beauty of being here. And would you really ever want to be done? Often I did this too, full on, thinking I will do this work, I will commit. You know, spirits ask me, I'm on my spiritual path and journey, and and then I became a doula and I became a healer, right? And did all the things, but there still comes the moments where it was like, wait, what am I even doing again? Right? Why am I here? Who's doing this? What's happening? Things happen in life, and all of a sudden finding like, oh, wait a second, there's so much more, and we're never done, right? And so many of us do this at the beginning, like, I'll just work really hard and write, and I'll do it, and then I'll get to this magical place where I'm never triggered again, and I'm completely in abundant flow, and everything is perfect. And like, yes, that's awesome, that's happening, that's real, claim it now. But does that mean that you just like stop there? No, you will actually keep expanding. And some of what you thought was your goals or dreams, you get there and you say, oh, cool. And now what do I get to create? And now what do I get to do? So the journey is never, it's never complete. We would be bored, or it would be time to ascend and go back. And it's the gift of being here, and being human is hard compared to a lot of different ways we could manifest our energy. Everything's energy, and Earth is one of the most remarkable planets that we could choose to manifest on. And it's one of the trickiest because we have forgotten. We all, forget through the process of taking birth in a human form. And because this world is so very dense, it's the energy moves really slow, and we forget. And the beautiful thing is, though, now, I mean, enough energy flows open here that there are many more children being born that haven't forgotten, and they have parents that are aware enough and awake enough. So imagine that the world is shifting, that these beings can be safe to be born. That gets me excited. That's a sidetrack. But yeah, the ability to be here on this planet and to have a form, and then knowing that many of us said, okay, I'm going to come here, but I am going to remember. So you picked places and circumstances, who you were going to be. I know that's a stretch at first when we're learning this stuff, that I picked this body and these parents and this place. Why would I ever do that? But as we grow and learn and expand our context, we realize, oh, I wouldn't be who I was. I wouldn't have awoken. I wouldn't have remembered the mastery of these places and people and choices and things that came before me, facilitated that awakening, right? So we realize that through our awakening process that we needed all of that, and we can come into that complete gratitude, and that's when the abundance can really flow. We have got to be grateful for everything in our experience, including and especially the things that feel less than um, beautiful, that feel painful even, and that are hard. And that doesn't mean it comes overnight or it's like flipping a switch and you're just there. But the more you practice it, the easier it gets to say thank you, even when you don't know what the gifts are yet. But you can recognize by going through the experience, right, that you are receiving gifts that you will become conscious of, even if you don't know what they are yet. So we have all this creation energy. We're here. And so many of us are still forgetting or have not remembered that we have so much capacity. And that's what, abundance really does for others, is when we are in it ourselves, is it helps them remember. It helps them remember. So if you are here saying, I know I have a bigger mission, and it's okay if you don't have the logistics of that, because that part just comes on its own. We're so silly that we always get caught up with putting the cart in front of the horse on this planet and want to have it all figured out. But we have to pull the cart, right? We have to put the horse first, and you have to put yourself first. And when you accept that you are a divine creator and flow, and you realize you're going to come up against moments where you're going to be triggered, you're going to find that, you've peeled off that other layer or pulled out that clump. I like the analogy of like reaching into a pumpkin. If you've ever carved a pumpkin for Halloween and you clean the globs out, that's what it's like. Sometimes you go in there and reach in and clear something out, and it's connected to so many other things, right? It's like all those little strings or strands. And we discover, oh, and we pull something else out, and it's connected to all these other pieces. And we have another shift or up level moment or opportunity in front of us if we choose. So our abundant nature, it's who we are and what we deserve. And if we aren't in 100% abundance, then there is some limiting belief at play. And that's fine, cool. We know it, it's there. So, as I was like going along on my own path, there was times where I thought I had it all dialed in, and where to go, where to go, where to go. And it was that opportunity to dive in and explore and uncover other layers. If we did it all at once, then can you imagine like how unkind that would be? Because we have a body and a personality and an ego, and it's part of being here. Like we came here to experience it, not to just be up there in the light realms, or we would have stayed there. We came here to help with our own gifts in our own way. So if we are shutting off that flow, how are we going to create what we want in our lives? And it's so, just telling to me that so many of us won't do it for ourselves, but we might do it when it comes down to our kids or a loved one or a pet. We will make the thing happen. And if we aren't doing it for ourselves, though, eventually, right, we can't make it happen for anybody else. And that's how abundant flow really, really works. Um, is that we have to tap into our own flow and expansion, and then it reminds other people how to do it, and other people do receive when we're receiving. And when we remember that, oh, all the people that I love, that I want to help, if I am living my best, most amazing, abundant, loving life, they're going to receive that much more. What are they receiving by you holding back, by you being in contraction? What do they receive from that part of you in that version? Right, that one really can stop you in your tracks, like, oh my gosh, like what am I offering those that I love the most if I'm not fulfilling myself? So I'm going to hop over to the call board, and we're going to take a call. We have, oh, looks like we have Ashtara with us. Hello, namaste, lovely.
Hello, goddess. How are you?
Well, how are you?
Well, I'm really happy to connect with you. Big hugs to everyone who's here with us today. I'm just excited to be live with you. And I would love soul mini readings from you. I'm really in a dichotomy of, I feel like I'm way ahead of myself spiritually versus physically. So that dichotomy of the physical paining and disabling experience, while yet there are these openings in front of me. And my soul is like, yes. And my body's like, are you serious?
Yes, I feel you. And thank you so much for calling in and requesting this reading and sharing what you've just shared because, like, I feel that. And I know so many people that are connecting to this feel that truth and that. So I have two parts. I have your reading and I want to respond to what you shared too. But I'm going to feel into your reading
Mhm.
first, dear one, and just wow. Like as soon as I connect with your energy today, I mean, it is front forward in a amazing, brilliant way. I mean, your soul energy is just
Hmm.
boom, like here I am. Holy cow, I have goosebumps everywhere. You are powerful. And it's like all of these just
Hmm.
rich beautiful colors that are floating around your energy field it's like magentas and deep violets and just like rich juicy royal colors, and there is absolutely parrot energy that just came in like a tropical, like a macaw, but even more
Hmm.
colors, like it's like a cosmic parrot that is just like the messenger, and that you are in that place of like receiving great messages from your rooted connectedness. And this is going to be the piece that comes in too with your follow up with your question, because it's like that connection and blast off that's there is needing that deep sense of safety and rootedness in the body, rooted without being like stuck down into the earth, but like centered. And that it's just bursting forth though. It's just like they just keep showing me like that you're just like spinning and receiving, and that possibility, like can you believe in that possibility that you really can heal, that you could live pain free, that you could break free of these limitations and go into the spaces where there may still be lingering beliefs about your abilities to really transcend this, because you're in that, like you're breaking free of so many things and cycles, and I see it, and way to go. And now this is that piece of like, okay, now I get to sit with like, where am I still limiting myself in what I believe is possible for me to create in my life? So thank you for that opportunity, love. How are you doing?
Thank you.
Good.
That you are spot on.
Oh,
Absolutely. And so validating. I'm so glad I reached out to you.
I'm so grateful you did too. Thank you for calling in, Ashtara. And I'm going to go on and expand on some of your question too, because I think it's so valuable. Thank you for calling in.
Great. Thank you so much.
Namaste. Awesome. I love it. So, if anyone else didn't catch the call board number and you would like to call in, that number, let me pull it up for you. I have like way too many windows open, you guys. I'm doing new things. Um, 517-208-1500 if you'd like to call in. That's probably the best way if you want to call in and grab a mini reading. Today, it's hard to go through the chat, but I'll see if I get some time to hop in there too and go through there. But yeah, I wanted to expand a little bit on what beautiful Ashtara was sharing there, because so many of us feel this like, I'm my spirit's way ahead of where my body is. And this ties into this topic today too so beautifully, because the the energy as it works, and this is how energy works, right? Where there's less dense, less friction, less solidity, right? It moves faster. So our spiritual self, or um, our soul, we have our spiritual consciousness too, but we have our soul, our true authentic nature. It's like always in source energy. It's always direct source, and it's always here if we allow it in. And our spiritual being and vessel, it's carrying so much momentum here, and it goes rapid, right? When we have our awakening or we shift or we grow and we open up, it's like, boom, we are fast, right? But other things like our body, the physical form, is moving slower. The vibration is slower and it takes it a little more time. Emotions and thoughts, they also have more density than um, the multidimensional spaces do. So even though maybe with our physical senses we don't see thoughts, they are moving at a slow, dense rate, and our emotions, right? So, and that's also why with healing, oftentimes something could be showing up as a emotional imprint or trauma or something, but if we've disassociated or not paying attention to it, um, it's going to manifest as a physical symptom, right? Because we will eventually listen to our body when it's talking to us and having some weird symptoms. We'll say, oh, hold up, maybe it's time for some perspective. Maybe it's time to do that little bit of a deep dive and see what's going on here. And we wouldn't have taken the pause, right? So that's an example. It's like the body is such a good barometer for what's going on. And our body takes a little more time. And remembering that we are in such massive energy shifts right now, we are in this up level of May, and it really is bringing ourselves into a whole new energy flow. So, right, we've noticed, I'm sure you're noticing time's totally insane more than ever. Well, we are in concentric time and cycles and all these things happening, and it doesn't work the way it used to. And, the manifestation is so fast. When we want to create something and we want to call it in, it's boom, it's like there. We can call it in and create so quickly. So this energy, this up level is amazing, wherever we're focusing on and what you're choosing and what you want to create. There's so much there's so much energy that is supporting you in doing that. And the body is having to adjust, though. It's not been easy for the body. And then for those that, maybe your journey has been like your body has been in pain for a long time, and your body's been experiencing things for a long time, and it's my heart is around you. That's not a simple overnight fix or solution, but it can be frustrating, right? When we keep working and working and working, and our soul is like, woo, let's run, and the body is like, I can't, so it really it's not abnormal, and you're not alone. And that's like the big things, right? And Kira Ra keeps saying this, like, you are not crazy, you are not alone. But this is where you really get to lean into, okay, what are the gifts of this? If my body is talking to me and it's just not feeling like, is there a resistance in it? Is there still resistance there? What is it communicating? Which parts of the body are talking to me? Beautiful, like just hands on practice to do is to bring one hand to your heart. And this is where all of the connection to our wisdom and infinite source begins, when we can come to our heart and lift from there. We are connected to that love. And if you really breathe, and if you're familiar with how to do the Ave Sa breath, if not, you just breathe in, feeling the Ave, exhaling. And this breath is powerful. And you can learn a lot more, because there's going to be like 2 amazing Avesa breath workshop journeys with Sri Ramka and Kira Ra, certifying people in this sacred breath. But for now, you know how to do this. And if you just connect, and then you bring your other hand to what part of your body is speaking to you. And it might be the whole thing. It might be just everywhere. So where are you guided to put it? Or is it, a particular place? And just breathe and send from the heart love. Pump that. Let that love circulate from the heart through the arms to that part of the body that is calling out, and be there with it. Offer reassurance. You really want to be connected to your heart, right? And your source self. And then you're offering the reassurance saying thank you, I'm not going anywhere, and really be there. And when I'm with, people one on one in sessions, we might work through this and really be with this for like a long while and get the information that's coming forward. You need to do it maybe more than once. You will need to do it more than once, because the body needs reassurance that it's safe, that it's being listened to. And then, like, the next thing to do is to really start getting into that space of curiosity and looking at, what are the messages that you have for me, what's here to be shared, what part of my inner child might this connect to, and you start exploring from there. So it's definitely a personal journey, and it's definitely one that you can do, and really support the body too. I mean, this also means nourishment and food, and this also means, what are your supports, what are your medicines for your body that absolutely support and help it, and what are the activities and things that support it. So I know those are like the practical pieces, but it's really about listening and just keeping loving the body. And can you trust that it's going to heal? Can you trust? And if there's any fear or doubt there, that's your window in, and that's where you go in and you say, okay, what's this about? And how can I really support and love myself enough to say, I can heal, I can connect with that part of me that is hurting or wounded, and hold it and be there in that space, connected as the divine creator I am. It's definitely a journey, and it's so um not unusual to be like, yes, spirit goes and soars, and the body is like, oh my gosh, hold up, right? And remembering that there's infinite possibility and potentiality, and every day, right, the co-creators that we are developing new tools and modalities and ways of supporting our bodies and minds and spirits. And there are so many modalities and tools, and we really have to trust ourselves with where we're being guided. And the main thing is to just really be like, how are you cultivating that connection to the body of form and loving it for the job it's doing, and being really grateful for whatever's present, no matter what it is, because there's something there that it's teaching and showing, and believing that it's possible to move through it. Big stuff and really good conversations, because I know there's so many beings that can relate to this, that absolutely relate to this. And it's being a being in form. It's not an easy job. It's not, but it can be. It can be. And to really honor yourself and the abundant one that you are, it's how are you thinking about your abundance, right? So often we hear the word abundance and we go right to, hey, oh, where's the money? Money, 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 right? Because this world of density, abundance means money. Do I have enough money? Where's the money? Got to pay the bills. If I want to create what I want to create in the world, I need money to do that. And it's our greatest trap and limitation. And money is definitely one of the gods of this world, money and time. And um, I don't care who you are or where you're walking, you're going to be encountering challenges with these things, because we're here on this planet and it's everywhere. But, beloved one, remembering that abundance is so much bigger than that, right? That our abundance comes in so many ways. It's the abundance that just is. It's the joy. This is the state of being, not the emotional joy, but this is the spiritual anchored state of being, the joy. And this is the real essence of the spiritual self, like who we are at our real, authentic levels. And from that's our abundant nature, that there's just infinite ability to connect with our joy, to connect with the flow, to connect with our divinity, and channel that into the world through all the gifts that we have, this body, our thoughts, our talents, our skills, and your own unique, mission and what it is you want to create in this world. And if you are not in touch with your creative force or flow, then it's going to be, where's the money? Where's the support? Where's the people? Where, how? And we're going to be in that place of lack. And it really does come back into also that um, pyramid, the victim triangle is what I'm thinking of, right? That there is the perpetrator, the victim, the rescuer. And if we are in our abundant nature, we are healed through that. We are the healer, teacher, and mentor. We are no longer being that victim of the circumstances. And it's really natural, guys. I mean, we look at circumstances like, oh, I can't do this because X, right? Or that thing is taking up all of my headspace and can't I can't think of anything else. I'm stuck in a pattern and I'm in the worry or the stress and you can't see the possibility. So it's like right, that heart connection is the portal and gateway to receiving our abundance and our wisdom and everything that's yummy. But when we are in frustration, when we are in that disempowered place, that means we're back into being a victim of the circumstances. We aren't empowered. There's somebody or something that is keeping it from us, or somebody needs to save us from this situation. Look at all the different ways you play that out in your life, right? It's like, oh, if only, I won the lottery, or or if I got a better job or whatever it is, right? But those are the only ways I could get out of this. Something outside of me has to give me that opportunity. I can't create it from myself. It's a disconnect. And when we're in contraction like that, we are in frustration. And what we want to create in the world for ourselves is way out there, and we are pushing it further through our frustration, through our disempowered self, and let's take the charge off the word victim or abuser or any of it. There's no charge that needs to be around it. It's what we all do here. We do it in our own heads. We do it with each other until we learn to grow through it. And even once we have, there's going to be invitations to forget all of your mastery and dive back in. And when that happens, the faster you say, oh, I see it, and say thank you, the faster you get to shift it. Very, very remarkable how it works. And it's great because it's predictable for sure. And, if we are in that empowered space where we're like, okay, I'm not a victim of these circumstances. Nobody else is going to show up and save me. That doesn't mean that people don't come along, and somebody might come along and do something amazing for you. But how are you even going to be open to that opportunity, right? If you are in frustration and lack. So when we move into our abundance, it's saying, I trust myself. And this is the big one, right? Steadfast commitment, focused awareness, complete trust. That's the big one. We have to have the commitment and awareness first to get there. And then how do we really trust? We're going to have to honor our spiritual nature as the who we are and let the ego, the personality, the body relax enough to trust and go with it. And we have to reprogram. It is work, guys. If anybody comes along and just says, becoming an enlightened, awakened being and living all your gifts out loud is easy, they're lying. It doesn't mean it can't be easy and things can't happen super fast, but you are going to have to roll up your sleeves and do some work and explore your own limitations, right? We are where we are at, and we have to be willing to keep saying yes, to keep looking, to keep committing. Like, what would happen in my own business if I was just like, okay, good enough. Um, I have some clients, I have a few things going on, and I've got a website, and good enough. And if that's what I wanted, that's perfect, right? But I know, and too, for you, like there's a part of you that's like, I know that I could do more. Or, you know, you achieve a goal and you say, yeah, this is really cool. I'm happy. And that's awesome. Like, be with it. Not saying it's like about like you can never achieve good enough. You need to be really content with and happy with where you are. But it's like there is a, okay, now how can I expand this further? I mean, what would happen if I just stopped there and just like, okay, that's cool. I mean, that would be great. I would still be like doing what I came here to do, which is loving the expression of expansion and love on the planet and helping other beings remember that. I would still be doing that. But there's some part of my soul that's like, yeah, and you could, you know, what if you could expand and help even more? Right. So we're always growing and we're always expanding. And that's the fun of being in our abundant nature. But we are going to come up, you know, there will be that moment where you're like, okay, I stretched. It's going to feel stretchy when you grow. If you don't enjoy how things are looking and you don't feel wildly abundant, you know, it's or if you just feel like, oh, I'm content right here, but I know there's more, right? You know, we're always going to have that discomfort of new growth. And that's what keeps like 99% of people from living their dreams, is that it'll be uncomfortable to look at your own stuff. It will be uncomfortable to maybe learn something new or to let something go that we're very comfortable with, like an old outdated belief or thought pattern that might have been developed to keep us safe and help us cope, but is no longer keeping us safe, right? But it can be really scary to do for the ego. The soul says yes, 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 but the ego is scared, right? So it's like it's work. We're always looking and up leveling, but it does get easier because as you establish that trust, if you just keep committing and you keep saying yes, and you just really just stay in that awareness of what's coming forward for me. When I say yes, you know, where's the fear at? What am I noticing? What do I see? Where's the love at? Where's the possibility and the potential? Where is the divine in everything I'm doing? Where was my awareness at? And when we can be really focused on what we're creating and what we're bringing into the world, the trust piece comes and you realize like how many things that you have accomplished. You can do this, right? If we can sit and just really say, you know, where I'm sitting right now was the result of a lot of hard work, and we have to stretch those boundaries of what we're comfortable with to go for what we want. We have to stretch it, you know, whether that's making some new friends or creating a business or writing a book or traveling around the globe or climbing a mountain. You have to stretch out of your comfort level. You have to stretch. And then you get to another level and you're going to have to stretch again, right? And it is. And I'm seeing popping up here. Yes, Lynn, it is worth it. It's worth it because you get that freedom that you receive, right? And everyone will come to that point. It's like, that's why it's not your business what other people are doing with their stuff, because everyone will receive what they need to receive when they receive it. And they're doing their own thing. But when we can remember, like, oh my God, yes, there is a freedom that's worth this. There's something that's worth this work and going in there. And I love that, Ashtara. I choose to believe I am wildly abundant. Yes. Pay attention to what we're telling ourselves and what we believe, right? And I know you can probably all recall a time where you trusted yourself and did something and it worked and it happened and you created. We have to keep reminding ourselves of that because our ego will look to the past and look for things that were bad or look to the future about what could happen that's bad. And we need to stop it from its constant, you know, and it relaxes. It does learn to relax and go, oh, she's got this. That's right. So we need to keep reminding it like, hey, look, we're okay. We did stretch and grow. And look, we not only survived, but we're thriving a little more now. Look at that, right? And it starts to come into its place of trusting us, the big us, right? Yes, Kim, holding in the trust. I love, love, love it. And wow, we're almost at time. I was popping over to the call board. If anyone wants to squeeze in, 517-208-1500 is that number. And yes, Oh, and it is just profound that we're here in this moment of claiming our abundance, and we get to take that into June, July, August, and September is when we are going to be like kind of like coming to the other end of that rainbow bridge. We started back in March at the equinox, and we are going to be harvesting all the gifts. So I love that, if you're in the northern hemisphere, it's like we get to play with the seasons here, right? We are moving into the summer. What have we been planting in the spring? It's very much still just spring here. Like the leaves are just coming out here in northern Michigan. It's crazy, but it's amazing, right? So what's growing? What have you been tending? What are you growing? Maybe get yourself a little plant and grow something right now, or put a little container garden in or something, and really feel into like what's growing, what have I been creating. There's probably things you've been doing that maybe you're not even totally consciously aware of. Tap in. What have I been creating? What am I doing? If you haven't been really clear on it, get clear. What do I want to see more in my world? What do I want to receive? And then really get clear, like, am I in this abundant flow of giving and receiving? That's the other thing of abundance, is it's about generosity of spirit. We receive and give, right? It's the whole metaphor of that flowing river, right? Imagine the waterfall coming into the river, and that waterfall is your source energy. And you receive, 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 and the river flows with all that source energy, and it splits off into other rivers and meets the ocean, and the ocean just receives fully and is absolutely infinite, right? And if we are not in that receiving, like we're not receiving that abundance of the waterfall, we are holding back, right? We're not having as much to give. Our stream, maybe we're just like a little mucky creek instead of a big flowing river, and we're not receiving. We've cut that off, and there's boulders and stones in the way, and the water can't even go to the ocean, right? Or maybe you're the river that's just like giving, giving, giving to the ocean, but the source is drying up because you're just giving, giving, giving. So, where are you at in your giving and receiving? And can you give without the fear that there's not going to be more coming in to receive? We are that giving and receiving, and that is the abundance in action, because as we receive, we can give more to the world and others in our mission and our goals and our dreams, right? And if we are in any kind of lack or disempowerment, then that's okay. But where's the river going? And how are we helping others, let alone ourselves? Right. And it's really profound, like how many times we might cycle through this, but how fast we can turn that spigot back on, because we know how to do this. If you feel like that source is cut off, or you're holding on or whatever, we can shift that. That can happen pretty easy because you remember how. Then the work comes in following through. But you can create the shift really quickly. Hand to heart, breathe. How do you connect to your joy? This isn't emotional joy. Like, how do you connect to your joy in all the things? How do you bring that joy into those chores? How do you bring that joy into your interactions with others in the world? How are you connecting with the divine? Make that the priority. Make it the priority again and again. How are you connecting with the divine? And, if you would like to hang out for 6 weeks, I'm doing it's kind of like, think about like going to yoga class, but this is self ascension practices and energy every Thursday night, starting this Thursday night for 6 weeks. And I'll record the sessions if you can't come live, of course, but we will be doing a beautiful flow. And I've done some of these and they're just amazing. It's like sacred ascended yoga poses and postures, and journaling and writing and just meditation time. It's just a very much a container to receive every Thursday evening at 6 p.m. And that timing doesn't interfere with Shri and Kira's calendar, because I looked when I schedule my things, because There's so many brilliant things they are doing as well. There's so many ways to receive. But yeah, check that out, selfascensionstudios.com, and hang out with me for 6 weeks. That'd be fun, or check out a discovery session or shoot me a message or whatever. Check it out, hang out, come here every Tuesday at noon. I love being with you all, and I cannot believe the hour is already over. I am sending you so much love. Come back again next Tuesday, and in the meantime, feel free to drop me a line. I'm always here. I love you so much. Thanks for tuning in. You are abundant, and don't forget it. Namaste and many, many blessings.